one thing that people often tend to oversee when they look at Lace, it's just like, oh, why you do things differently? You know, the other wallets are doing it this way, and we're IOG. We have access to the brain power of Charles. We have a team that has access to, you know, the, how can I put it in a way that people understand the cool features, cool developments of IOG. Lace will have it first. The rumors around from the other side of the office is that, you know, Midnight is developing really, really well and really, really fast, and the way of seeing privacy for Lace users is definitely having Midnight integrated. So I can tell you that that is one of the key priorities that our team has at the moment.
What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name's Fareed. As a part of today's interview, I'm going to be sitting down with Rudy, the manager of community, as well as the manager of marketing at Lace. Now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring up today's guest as we dive into the Lace wallet and exactly what we can expect for the year of 2024. Rudy, welcome aboard. Good morning.
Thanks for having me here, Fareed. It's a pleasure. Really, really nice talking to you. Finally.
Yes, third time's the charm. We've had a pretty interesting start here to today's interview, but I'm happy to have you here, and I'm thankful for you taking the time to spare some of the time here to discuss Lace. So as a part of today's video, we'll talk briefly about, you know, just what Lace is generally speaking, other products that you might be working on, but then there's been a recent release, I believe, version 1.12. So that brings on a brand new Fiat on and off ramp with Banxa. You guys have also added hardware support for your multi-delegation feature, and also want to pick your brain a little bit about development when it comes to a mobile version of Lace here as well, which I know a lot of people have been asking about. So before we jump into any of that though, Rudy, it's your first time here on the channel. Again, thank you for your time. Do you mind giving us a little bit of background about, number one, what you do, and then number two, how you came into the space?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been working for IOG for the past year and a half, and I started as a community manager for the Lace wallet, and I have been increasingly taking more responsibilities when it comes to product marketing. And because Lace is such a really good product, I thoroughly enjoy that part, and then I kept looking for more and more marketing related duties. And I feel like, you know, as a community manager, you do have to work pretty closely with the product team for the product that you represent. I feel like it does help the community, and it helps um, to manage the expectations of the team and vice versa when you know, when discussing feature requests and the direction of of the product that you represent. So yeah, I've you know, actually before joining IOG, I have heard about Lace first. I was looking for a crypto wallet that was, you know, light, intuitive, sexy in a way, easy to use. So, you know, my research took me to Cardano, and I saw Lace, and I saw the Rare Bloom YouTube video where Charles was presenting Lace for the first time, and I felt so excited. You know, all of the stuff that you're sharing on the screen right now got me really, really excited. And I thought, you know, I need to be part of that team. I need to work with that product. So I've been very fortunate to not just furthering my career with IOG through, in my opinion, the most exciting product, but also working with a really close knit team that likes, you know, to reach new heights and develop a product that is in line with what the community wants, but also what the community needs. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
That's a great introduction there. And I actually had the pleasure of being live at that demo. I think that was Consensus in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, where Charles Hoskinson, and at the time, I think it was Alex who was working with IOG,
Yeah.
basically had done an awesome presentation breaking out what Lace was. And I remember at the time, so much excitement in the Cardano community. Since then, obviously, the ecosystem has matured. There's been so many products that have been developed, but there's still, in my
Yeah.
opinion, a lot of opportunity, especially within the wallet space in Cardano. So again, I'm happy to have have you here, and really excited to dive into Lace. Now, let's maybe just start
Yes.
from a higher level picture, right? For anybody who's hearing about Lace for the very first time, do you mind breaking down what some of the core features are? For example, like the ability to send and receive, the ability to stake or use the multi-delegation feature, viewing NFTs. Can you tell us what Lace can do and what it can't do just yet?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So if you look at, the stratosphere of Cardano wallets, Lace has a very, let's say, unique approach to what we can offer. We do offer the most like essential features that most wallets offer in Cardano. You can send and receive assets. You can visualize your NFTs in all its glory. Um, but we like to do things a bit like our way in that sense. There are several features that I personally like from Lace, and looking at the video that we're just talking about and seeing how much Lace has evolved over the past couple of years, I feel like there's a lot that I can share with the community right now to get them excited. Um, I like transaction bundles. I feel like it makes things easier for someone that was in Ethereum before Cardano, and you're constantly worried about network fees and gas fees. Being able to group your transactions seems such a trivial thing, but it's something that Lace does really, really well. Um, the UI is actually very seamless, very simple, and that adds for great like user experience, right? So multi-delegation, as you touched on, is one of those that Lace does it uniquely. Um, as you can see, the multi-delegation from Lace doesn't follow the same kind of principles that the other wallets in Cardano follow right now, because you with the other wallets you single stake, right? So you do single staking via different accounts. You have your main wallet, and you can have different accounts within that wallet, and then you can do multi-delegation with single accounts. While with Lace, you have your one account, and it can spread your staking with a single account. What that does, it just converges everything into one experience. It gives you more control, and it prepares you for the future. One thing that people often tend to oversee when they look at Lace, it's just like, oh, why you do things differently? The other wallets are doing it this way, and we're IOG. We have access to the brain power of Charles. We have a team that has access to the, how can I put it in a way that people understand the cool features, cool developments of IOG. Lace will have it first. We'll have access to them first, and that's why multi-delegation, although is a way, there's a lot of people in the community say, oh, really, it's actually not compatible with the other wallets. That's not the intention here. The intention here is to prepare Lace for the Voltaire era. Yeah, so that's one example. Now, Lace offers, again, a lot of essential features that wallets out there have, although some of them we kind of added a little bit late in the game. Everything that we do with Lace has to be thoroughly checked, peer reviewed, and because of that, we had to, the exercise of prioritizing certain features over others is done in a very, very granular detail by the team, right? So sometimes we know that we have to, for example, the mobile app, Lace Mobile is something that the community has been asking for such a long time. And, it's not that we're blind and we don't know that, it's such a, a crucial thing to have. But we need to deliver a browser extension that is robust, that is strong, that has all of the essential features first, before you're able to move to that kind of market share and say, you know what, we also want the same Lace experience that you love in the mobile app. So yeah, prioritization is key. We follow the principles of IOG. You have a great best-in-class customer support release. People often oversee that aspect as well. All the bugs that I've witnessed since being here have been resolved in a matter of hours. I've oversaw so many small, quick update releases just with bug fixes for Lace. We get a big release out, and within hours the community says, no, this is broken, and we get on straight away because we have those channels, isn't it? Those powerful IOG channels to capture and act on feedback quite quickly. So I feel like that is the main advantage is, if you're looking for a Cardano wallet out there and you want to be aligned with what the future of our beloved blockchain offers, you need to be considering Lace as a top wallet. It is a journey, so it takes a bit of time. I feel like a couple of features that we could talk in more detail, for example, have had a little bit of a bad reputation per se within the community. The Dapp connector, for example, if you look at what we could connect at the beginning to what we connect these days with Lace, it's the difference is major, right? I can't find any top project yet that hasn't been able to connect with Lace at that level, and that's because of the effort that we have by the team building a strong Dapp connector, right? So, and I feel like we live off that reputation sometimes. Oh, I prefer to use Nami to connect to Dapps. It's much easier. But if you think about the infrastructure behind Lace, the security, the level of privacy, we're talking about like the best in class level privacy features here. I would trust my assets and my experience with a Cardano wallet with Lace in that sense. But yeah.
You mentioned a couple of really solid points, which I want to dive into a couple of them, and then we'll keep the conversation moving into the latest release, which is version
Yes.
1.12. Now, before I even begin to respond, I want to give props, and I want to also give information to the community, right? So props to the Lace team for continuously developing. You guys are one of the few wallets that's, I mean, I would say maybe every week or every other week, there's a brand new release coming out. And a lot of times that can be very difficult to keep up with from a community perspective, right? Brand new features added, you're getting bugs resolved, things of that nature. So for anybody who's interested in finding out more about Lace and just all of the recent developments and feature upgrades that have been released, I'll leave the official links to their blog down below. But as you guys can see here, I mean, these are a couple of minutes in terms of the time that takes for you to read, right? So I'd recommend for anybody who wants to stay updated, which is exactly how I stay updated, is to just dive into these blogs and really just, break down each of the pieces there, right? So again, kudos to you guys for developing and constantly upgrading the product, but then also documenting it in a really simple way for other people to keep up with it from an outsider's perspective. In terms of my responses, you mentioned you guys having an edge because, again, you guys are working literally, right, with the team at IOG, able to leverage Charles and all of the other value creators, right, when it comes to just building out the Cardano blockchain. I think that gives you guys an edge, and it sounds like you guys are taking advantage of that with what you mentioned, for example, the multi-delegation feature, which a lot of people have asked for, right, but very few are able to do it because of the technical know-how. Now, what I love about this is, again, not only does it make the delegation experience that much easier and simpler for the end user in the wallet, but it also helps out with decentralization and SPOs as well, because before this, you had to create multiple accounts or multiple stake keys or addresses, I should say, in order to delegate and to support SPOs, right? So I find that it's a lot easier to go ahead and just manage one wallet and multi-delegate, as opposed to, trying to set up 3 or 4 different wallets and then, delegate and then sign in and sign out, etc., in order to support your favorite SPO. So I love personally that part because I am also a single stake pool operator, right? So that benefits me in return. Now, you also mentioned the sort of way you guys are developing, especially when it comes to the mobile application. And what you mentioned, for me, I thought of like a quote, which is to measure twice and to cut once. A lot of people may want Lace on mobile, but if that means that you guys are now having to do double duty in terms of fixing a bug or an issue on the extension for browser, and then also going back to do some cleanup on the mobile application, I would assume, again, that probably takes more time and more resources in order to get that done, right? So taking a separate approach where you guys say, hey, we're going to make sure that the web extension is very nice, very refined, very tested before we even begin to migrate over, hopefully reduces a lot of that double work if there were to be things that pop up in the meantime. So from a development perspective, I think it makes sense, but it's probably a little bit difficult to explain that to like the average end user because they might not have the same perspective. They might just say, hey, for convenience purposes, I want Lace on mobile, but they're not necessarily thinking about the impact that has on the team who's actually developing the software. Again, I think that's really sort of it there for my piece. I've got you on here so I can hear you talk, not me. But I want to talk a little bit more about the version 1.12 that was just released not too long ago. If I'm not mistaken, you guys have an additional update coming out very soon, if it's not already out. But maybe we could start off with the Banxa Fiat on and off ramp. Do you mind breaking down, why Banxa number one, but the number two, if you could explain to us how this works and how you see this being leveraged moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. The ramp is actually on ramp, not off ramp yet. We're still working with Banxa to bring the off ramp in a future release of Lace. But it all goes to that kind of experience, that we want to provide our users. You want to make sure you've got everything you need with Lace, and everything that you need in an easier way, in a seamless way to use, right? And then if you want to onboard people into Cardano and then they don't have an extensive knowledge into crypto, how blockchain works and so on and so forth, you got to think about how would you do this if you were a bank. What would your internet banking experience would provide if you were moving from Web 2 to Web 3. And I feel like a lot of those aspects are looking to or taking into consideration when thinking about the features of Lace. And one of them is the on-ramp. Why do you have to go to an exchange to fund your wallet and then start using it straight away? And that's where the idea with the on-ramp came about. It was also requested by our community within the Lace Discord. It was one of the famous feature requests that we had on the list. I'm actually proud to tell you, Farid, that out of the top 12 feature requests from the community, 4 of them have already been delivered in 2024, including multi-wallet, multi-account, the on-ramp, and a couple of others. So it's actually not a small thing, having your feature requests by the community being taken care of by the product team. I can't tell you the specifics of why Banxa. We have different partners to work with. To be fair, they're not even a partner. They're just a third-party service. They thought that we would work with pretty well for this ramp, for the on-ramp. And we were proven correctly. Like, the team was really efficient to work with us. The experience is pretty seamless. You have a button within Lace that tells you, buy ADA. You click on that and you have access to select fiat currencies. And it's something that I haven't even actually mentioned online yet. Or when I say is the Lace team, the Banxa integration with Lace now actually supports Google Pay. We're working to bring Apple Pay as well. It's just a matter of getting Lace compatibility with the Safari browser. That will make things a bit easier. But Google Pay is something that has been added by the Banxa team and the Lace teams. So it's really, really easy to get ADA, fund your wallet, and start using without going to an exchange, and just having the level of convenience. It goes back to what I was saying, providing a kind of seamless experience. If you're leaving a Web 2 financial environment and you wanted to onboard yourself into a blockchain environment, an on-ramp makes complete sense. A couple of minutes and then you've got your wallet funded. So yeah, that was the major feature that we had for 1.12. We also wanted to make sure that the features that our users really like, as yourself, the multi-delegation, are also available for those who like the extra layer of security by having a hardware wallet. And we started supporting hardware wallets with Ledger initially, and then we moved to Trezor very recently, another feature request from the community. And we thought, why not offer multi-delegation for these users? They're a big chunk of our users. They like the level of security, and they like multi-delegation. So let's make it happen. So that's what we try to bring with 1.12. And you're absolutely right when you show the blog. We actually take a lot of care of that blog. We curate information. We make sure that it's easy to read. We put just the essential bits that we want to convey in terms of messaging. I love the Lace tone of voice. To be entirely honest with you, I feel like it's very easy. It's a very easy way to reach out to people out there, regardless of where they live, their demographics, and so on and so forth. So I feel like, yeah, the blog is the source of truth. And I personally lose myself it like release after release. Like you're talking about 1.12, and I was thinking, okay, that's the on-ramp one, right? Well, what about 1.11? And what did we release? We released a lot of stuff with 1.11. 1.9 had multi-account, multi-wallet, which is personally something that I was super excited about. It is something that I wanted to make sure that the community had access to, and fortunately the team worked hard to deliver that. And all of these features, Farid, is really what is really, really cool is that they're not end features. They will get more improvements this year and beyond. They will keep improving, because there's always little bits that we can refine and make it better for the user experience, right? Especially the on-ramp will get an off-ramp to complete the loop when it comes to that feature. The multi-account as well, you have more customization options. You should have more customization options for your accounts within your wallet. Just to add a level of customization over all elements of Lace will be ideal. So these features will have improvements along the way. What else could we talk about? I think we covered quite a few bits.
Yeah, I think you did an awesome job of covering, I think, the most recent and most relevant updates, right? Which, as you mentioned,
Yes.
is the on-ramp. I do apologize, but I thought it was both ways. I'm looking forward to when we can get an off-ramp. What I want to say about that, though, is we've seen more wallets really beginning to understand the importance of an integrated or a built-in on-ramp, because of the fact that, at least for me in the US, like I've only got two choices. I've either got Binance or I've got Coinbase. I personally use Coinbase, but it's always a hassle when I've got to send my money from my bank account to Coinbase. And then when I want to convert that USD to ADA, I've got like an 8-day holding period. So anytime that I want to purchase ADA, or I want to, integrate or participate in an NFT sale, whatever the case is, a token
Yeah.
launch, if I don't have the ADA on hand, by the time that I'm done dealing with Coinbase and waiting 8 days for it to settle before I can send it from my Coinbase wallet to my self custody wallet, whatever I needed the ADA for to begin with is probably already done and no longer
Yeah.
relevant, right? So like I've had a couple of times I'm okay, if I don't plan accordingly, I'm going to miss out on X, Y, and Z because I know I'm going to have this settling period with something like Coinbase. Now, I'm not sure exactly how Banxa works and how quick it is, but I would hope, or I would assume, that it's not the same sort of 8-day holding period where if you buy directly within your Lace wallet, once that transaction settles, you should have that ADA, again, hopefully, and be able to spend that right then and there as you wish. So I'll give you an opportunity, maybe
Yeah.
just clarify and confirm, and then I'll maybe just wrap up with a few other comments, and then we can jump over into our next topic.
Absolutely, I can confirm that is literally a seamless experience, like I said. So you'll take, your wallet to be funded in a few minutes if you have your card payment in hand. So, and I agree with you. It's just, let's put it that way. It's a turn off. If you especially if you're bringing someone that has very, very limited experience funding the crypto wallet, it's a turnoff. It's such a cumbersome process from an exchange. And I remember my first time, actually over 2 years ago, when I wanted to fund my MetaMask wallet, and then I came across this process, and I was just thought, wow, is this what the future is? Like, it's easier if you want to do something like that with a bank or any other institution that we are used to. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Because we have that kind of the foundations in place. So I find it pretty cool that the team at Lakes had the priority in mind. Is like, we need to bring that kind of level of convenience to the users, because it's one less reason for them to drop out in terms of the onboarding experience to Cardano.
Very, very nicely said. And again, I want to give you and the team kudos for listening to the community, right? I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned, even as a creator, the importance of
Mm.
understanding who your audience is, but then also understanding what they want. So it'd be crazy for me to think that I can wake up today and all of a sudden start posting content about a completely separate blockchain and still get the same amount of support that I do with my Cardano content, right? It's like I've built a community, focusing on Cardano, and they want a certain thing from me as a creator. So I think me understanding that, I can then better serve them, which helps them in turn even support me more, right? It's almost kind of like a snowball effect. I think the same thing
Yeah.
applies for projects. When you understand, hey, here at Lace, here's our goal, here's our mission, you begin to cultivate a community around that. The more you listen to them, the more passionate, the more happy they're going to be about the product, and the more likely they are to actually go and spread the word without you having to incentivize them about the product that they love and like something like
Absolutely.
Lace. Right. So I think the fact that you mentioned, I think you mentioned knocking out 4 of like the top 10 or 12, most requested features is pretty huge. And that's actually a really good segue into maybe what's next, right? So I know we've highlighted mobile development. Maybe we can jump into that in a separate video or in a separate interview. But I'd
Yes.
love to hear, what are the next priorities for Lace now that you've got some of the higher priority community requests completed?
Yes, I feel like there are different ways actually to look into that in terms of priorities. One thing that I wanted to share with you today as well is that I think you touched on that. We had a 1.12 coming out beginning of June, and now we have another one ready to release. And it won't be a big Lace release, but this one is actually very, very important. So don't take my word for it. We have a really special blog post planned for this release that will help our audience, the same audience that you're talking about, understand uh, how the development of Lace is tied in with the overall strategic vision that we have for the product at IOG. So that will explain a lot in better detail. But what I can tell you today is that if you think logically, yes, a Lace mobile app is on the horizon for the foreseeable future, because it's something that our users need to have. Everyone uses mobile these days. And they want the kind of level of convenience that they don't have to bring a computer to wherever they go and have access to their assets, right? So that is in the pipeline. Now, midnight integration is a logical thing to say, right? We're very, very excited. The rumors around from the other side of the office is that midnight is developing really, really well and really, really fast. And the way of seeing privacy for Lace users is definitely having midnight integrated. So I can tell you that that is one of the key priorities that our team has at the moment. Then, if you look at the foreseeable events that we have in Cardano, I would say that you should definitely pay attention to Rare Evo coming up in August. I feel like we will have some exciting stuff to announce there. That's one of the teases that I can give you today, is that one major feature will be launched in that event, and that is tied in with our priorities at the moment. So it's something to keep an eye on, because this one will be quite big. There are other features. Some are dedicated to, let's say, more savvy users, complex kind of user experience users. I've spoken to the team about this full node kind of dataless like experience. That we still have dataless users, and people don't know it's the hard wallet from Cardano. And we wanted to bring that kind of experience for those dataless users within Lace. We want to unify the experience in terms of wallets in Cardano, right? So having an option to do so within Lace will be extremely convenient, and then it will be also a good opportunity to tell those dataless users, hey, Lace has X, Y, and Z features here. Why don't you try them? So it's a way of showing the potential of Lace for the existing IOG wallet users out there. What else? We will make improvements to our transaction models, like the representation models. The idea within Lace, because we're so focused on security, is to give you the best set of information that you need before making a transaction to avoid the risk, of scams and fraud that unfortunately quite a few users are victim of these days. So the focus is to provide the right amount of information in a very easy to read way, so that when you make transaction, you're completely sure I'm doing the right thing and I'm sending my assets to the right destination. So those will be improvements too. Now with Lace 1.13 that's about to come out, I said that it's a small release, but it will have important bug fixes. We are addressing as well an issue that we had with Genius Yield for quite some time right now. Community has brought that to our attention. We work really, really hard. It's already merged into Cardano JS SDK, and then it's going to come for Lace 1.13. Not for 1.13, but very, very soon, we'll add SIP68 support to Lace as well, something that the team has been working really hard behind the scenes. I know, again, this sounds trivial. A lot of wallets offer that experience out there, but we weren't able to prioritize that. And because it's so important to the community, our team has put some time aside, carved some time to make sure that Lace has that compatibility for SIP68 collections. Because, you know, I haven't seen any other wallet out there where NFTs look so great other than Lace. So if you can't see all of your collections, then it's a shame. So that's something that the team has been working really, really hard. I know that I mentioned to you as well that we added Trezor support, and we had a multi-delegation to the supported wallets that we have, supported hardware wallets. But the truth is that only one Trezor support model was supported initially, which is the Model T. So we thought that I was wrong, and we're looking to bringing support at least to the Trezor Safe 3. It was like one of the popular models that the community told us about when we launched the Trezor support. And we decided to add that for Lace 1.13. So super excited to bring that in. And yeah, the blog post is a bit of an opportunity that we're using. Lace 1.13 for it is an opportunity for us to be able to tell the world out there why we're doing things this way, why we're prioritizing things in this manner, and why we don't follow the trend of other wallets in Cardano. We try to do our own thing. And I feel like that will tie in very nicely with the upcoming releases that we have for Lace this year. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Since the beginning of 2024, I've been losing track myself of how many nice new features come month after month with Lace. So I'm super excited to what we're going to deliver between now and the rest of the year.
Wow. Yeah, I'm almost speechless here. There was quite a bit of alpha here as we get ready to wind the interview down. Just a couple of notes I made here. You talked about Midnight and integrations or support for Midnight DApps or the Midnight network in the wallet. That's huge. Again, with Midnight being a brand new product, imagine how many people, are onboarded into Midnight and want a seamless experience between Midnight and Cardano. So I think the fact that, again, you guys are able to work so closely with that team goes back to that competitive advantage that we discussed earlier. You guys are able to literally say, hey, once you guys are done, let us know what is the best and easiest way to make sure that the Cardano community, who I believe will be sort of like the initial set of users once Midnight launches before everybody else sort of comes in, because again, it's been built and talked about so closely with Cardano right now that I think the opportunity is huge for Lace in terms of adoption, right? So I could see that being sort of like the default or the go-to option for anybody who wants to quickly jump back and forth between both of them without too much friction or with the most amount of efficiency. So I'm excited to hear about that, and to also even just learn more about when we can finally get our hands on Midnight, either on the testnet or on the mainnet, right? There's been a lot of ongoing work, and maybe I can connect with you following this call to see if we can get in touch with some of the members from Midnight to also even get an update from them. That would be amazing.
That'd be really, really cool. I work really close with them, so yeah, why not?
Let's definitely have a chat after this. You also mentioned Rare Evo. So that particular event has been doing amazing. They've been growing year over year. If I'm not mistaken, I spoke with Wes, Devrin, and Rand, who basically put this event on, and they've mentioned to date having sold 5x more times the amount of tickets this year already, a couple of months out. Compared to last year. So I think it's going to be a huge one here. And to basically have that crowd there, which I believe Charles will be there in person as well, I think presents a really great opportunity to expose Lace to the masses, and to also even just let people know, hey, if you've heard of Lace and you haven't checked it out yet, like, this will be the time. And of course, with whatever features being released there, that might add more traction. And as a content creator, I know that I'll definitely be there to make sure to capture content and to report that out to my community. I'll pick up the pace here on the last few. You talked about Daedalus integrations, risk ratings, which has been a pretty big topic here. I know Cerberus has been doing a really good job getting a lot of the market share being integrated in a lot of different DeFi DApps when it comes to providing transparency about how safe and how risk advert certain protocols are, and to hear that that's going to be
Mhm.
coming not necessarily through Cerberus, but just risk ratings coming to the wallet, right? I think that poses an additional security benefit. I know we've also seen I want to say it's Cardano Shield team, which was funded through Project Catalyst, where they basically have a way to like judge how safe a transaction is before you actually execute it. We've had like things like that come about. Again, really making sure to take advantage of the UTXO model that Cardano boasts, but to also add even more security features. As hackers always stay one step ahead of the curve, right? So as technology gets
Yes.
better, we get more features. So do the hackers. They get more sophisticated and they get new opportunities to take advantage of people. So again, really, really nice list of teasers and alpha there, Rudy. I want to go ahead and close things out. I know this is one of just the first calls that we're going to be having here on the channel moving forward. And so I don't want to go ahead and drag this one out for too long. But are there any closing thoughts or just parting words that you want to send us home with as it pertains to Lace and what you guys are working on there?
Yeah, sure. There are a couple of more things. You mentioned Cerberus, you mentioned Cardano Shield. Those are things in our radar too. We actually keep a close eye on what the community is doing in that regard, and we have been having talks as well about that coming to late. So looking into security is something that will never stop. It's a huge focus for IOG and especially for the Lace team. But that's not just that. I feel like you mentioned Rare Evil, right? Like that is for me my favorite event, my favorite Cardano event, because the crowd is just, the energy is so great. Like, and I'm looking forward to be there this year. Charles will be there. It will be huge for Lace. I'll tell you this. Not just working with the community and the marketing, but I'm working heavily on the preparation for the Rare Evo. I want to make sure that the information about Lace it's relevant, is easy to digest, is catchy, so that people find out more about what we're doing. I'll be having the pleasure of having one of the lead engineers for Lace coming to Rare Evo as well. We're going to have the product team there. It's going to be really exciting. So I can't stress enough. It's a good event for people to find out. And then just to tie all of this together, to give you an idea, these priorities, some of the things that I loosely mentioned here to you, we're working on that. So that by the time Rare Evo starts, we have even more exciting stuff to look forward to. So it's something that we can't miss this year. I feel like it would be really great for everyone into Cardano, into the improvements for wallets out there, to catch on this event. I had more things to mention to you, right? Actually, but we need to save it for another day, maybe. But yes, so if I wanted to say, if anyone wants to help the direction of Lace, be part of this journey, join the Lace Discord. I'm there. I'm available. You can reach out to me anytime you need. We have a very easy onboarding in our Discord. So if you want to leave suggestions, little small suggestions for improvements, or even big feature requests, or if you want to integrate, if you're a partner, we're always open to listen, discuss, and get close to our community. So the Lace Discord is the best tool to get in touch with the team and make a difference.
Solid way to send us home here. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Rudy, the head. No, I'm just kidding. The manager of the community and the
Not yet.
manager of marketing. But you never know. You never know.
Never
The
know.
opportunities there. But no, seriously, thank you for jumping on here. I appreciate it. For anybody who wants to find out more about Lace, check out the links in the description down below. As Rudy just mentioned, one of the best ways to contribute and show your support is by joining the Discord. I'll leave the link to that down below as well. If you're on the official website, take a look at the top right-hand corner there, or you can find the link to it at the very bottom or the footer section of the official Lace wallet. I believe that will take us through today's video, discussing and just catching up here as it pertains to Lace, talking about their latest upgrades, which include updates for hardware wallets and multi-delegation, as well as their Fiat On-Ramp, with hopefully an off-ramp coming soon in partnership with Banxa. Again, Rudy, I want to thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you at Rare Evo. And as we go ahead and head out here, for the viewers, if you guys have enjoyed today's video, if you learned anything along the way, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. It really makes a difference. It helps to get this content out to other members within and outside of the Cardano community. If you want more content like this when it comes to the biggest and best builders here in Cardano, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions for myself or Rudy, then make sure you leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.